welcome back to my channel. My name is Jacoby Official, and as you can tell by the title, we're doing the How I Lost My Virginity story time. So let's get to it. If you are underage or you're my family member, or you think it's gonna be weird to hear my story or whatever, my story, click off now. Don't stay any longer if you think it's weird. Smash that like button, throw in a comment too, and don't forget to turn on post notifications so you know when I post. Most likely it will be on Fridays at 12 o'clock. So I had this friend, her name was, let's call her Shanti. So I had this friend named Shanti, and she got me like messing with or whatever this boy named Alan. So Alan was trying to flirt with me or whatever, talking about, oh, let's just mess around, let's get to know each other, let's just, you know. And I was like, no, because I don't know you like that. Like, I just met you like a couple months ago or whatever. I'm not finna with you. Like, that's weird, you know? So Alan and I, we were kind of texting back and forth. We were like flirting or whatever. And I was just like, if we really do end up linking up, will I actually, you know, let him get some? And I was like, nah, I'm just gonna tease him or whatever. It's gonna be fun. So I kept doing that over and over again. And then one day I got kicked out of my house. And so I was like, pull up. Because I didn't want to be by myself. So I was just like, pull up. And so he picked me up and we went to Wendy's to get something to eat. And then he got me a son of a Baconator and some fries. I never ate those fries. I didn't eat those fries. I didn't eat that Baconator. So that was a waste of money. But we did end up like looking. I was like, you know what? Why don't I just lose it? Like, it's a perfect time for me to lose it. I'm mad at my mom. I want to feel free. I want to finally lose my virginity. So I'm just like, why not? And I told him, yo, pull over somewhere so we can do things, so we can, you know. And he was like, all right, I'm gonna find a place. So we went to a park. There was a police officer, so we couldn't do that because he kind of was like older than me. And I was 15 at the time. He was older than, you know, 1'8". And so there was a police officer, so we had to leave because he didn't want to get charged. And I do not advise you to mess with adults, by the way. I just did it because I like older people, but kind of an issue, but we're not gonna talk about that. So we went to a park, we left, and then we started going around. And he was like, oh wait, I don't have a condom. So we went to Walmart, it was closed, so we were mad. So we ended up going back to his apartment and asked his roommate if they could get his lube. And so he got the lube and he was like, put this on. I was like, no, because it's spearmint. I hate the smell of spearmint. It's just, one, is too strong and it burns. Like, why would I put that in my, no, why would I put that in there? And so then he was like, whatever. And so we just ended up, I can't put that in there. I cannot put that in there. So we just ended up, you know, each other, giving each other head or whatever, and we just kept doing it over and over again. And then he got scared, and he was like, no, I don't want to get caught. I'm afraid someone's gonna find out. Do this, do that. So we're running like we went to his apartment. We sat there, we watched a movie, and then he couldn't do it because he's like, his roommate was there too, and so we couldn't just, you know, get in his place. So after we left there, we went back into his, and it was his friend's car that we was doing it. By the way, he wrecked his car, and so he was using his friend's car. And so we finally went to his job and like in the parking lot, and we just, yo, when I tell you, this dude went in the back of the seat and he yanked me out the freaking passenger seat, like, yo. And then he was like, he took his shirt off, then he was taking his pants off. I was just watching. This is my first time, so I was just like, I don't know what I was supposed to do. Like, I knew what I was supposed to help him, but like, we was both doing our own thing. So like, he was taking his clothes off, I was taking my clothes off. He had on a pink shirt, no, he had a pink jacket, and He had some Calvin Klein underwear. I was like, yo, I want to help him take the underwear off. Yeah. I was just like, I'm not gonna do that because that's kind of weird or whatever. So I was just like, I'm gonna let him do his own thing. And so when he went up in the back and then he was taking his clothes off, we were both taking clothes off. And I was like, yo, I'm like, I was nervous. I was literally like shaking. I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be my first. And like, he wasn't really all that cute. He wasn't all that fine, but he was just available. And I was like, okay, why not just lose it? Why not? And so we finally get to the point where we're settled and we see another cop come by and we're like, yo. So he freaking throws me on the floor. Like, I'm literally sitting like this. His hand is over my head, like it's pushing my head down. And I'm just like, yo, what's going on? He was like, there's a police. And then he puts his clothes on and he hops in the front seat. I put my clothes on again. I'm still in the back seat. He's like driving to the next place. And it's just like, we both like, our hearts is racing. Cause one, like she probably called the cops looking for me, whatever. Two, he's older and I'm underage and we're doing things that we're not supposed to. So he didn't want to get in trouble. And also he was dating somebody and I didn't know that. I was like, yo, how you gonna date somebody? But didn't tell me that you was freaking in a relationship at the time. That's whack. So that happened and then we finally go to like a restaurant and then literally I was hungry, so I told him, let's just go to a restaurant. And so we sat there, we ate. And then he was just looking at me like the whole time he was eating. He was like, what you want? And I was, you talking about food or you talking about the other thing? And he was like, both. I'm like, shoot, I kind of want something to drink because I was a little thirsty, you know? Because after all that, there was a lot of spit that came out of my mouth, so I had to get some type of fluids back in my throat. And so I was just like, yo, just give me a drink and give me something to eat because I was really hungry. But I told him, don't give me something too much because I didn't want to like throw up on him head. Like, that would be awful. Just imagine you throwing up on somebody while you giving them head. Like, that's awful. That's really awful. He's literally grabbing me from underneath the table. I'm just like, yo. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? What are you doing? Calm down. Like, there was a lot of people. And we was like in the public, so there was a lot of people staring, and there was a lot of people because he was older, I was younger, but I looked older. I looked like I was at least 18, 19, whatever. And then he was just like touching me and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, calm down, we're still in the public. He was like, oh yeah, I forgot. And then we finally finished our food, then we go back to the car, and then he freaking just puts me in the back seat, takes my clothes off. And then he takes his clothes off and he just shoves my head on his. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. And he just keeps shoving. I'm just like, yo, calm down. And then he reaches like his hand is gliding over my freaking back. And then he grabs my butt and he puts his freaking finger and freaking butt. And I'm just like, and my butt. And I'm just like, yo, calm down. What is he doing? And I wasn't ready, like, yo, dude, literally, he was fingering me. What? And then he like turns me, he flips me around, does like some freaking Matrix stuff, like 360, like super fast. I think I hit my head, cause it was in a small it was not a small car, but it was like a Jeep. So we was both like, we was too big. He was like 6 foot something. I was like 5'8". And he pushes me, he like flips me, whatever, and then he's just like, when I tell you his tongue went up into my soul, yo, I never felt something like that. I tell you, yo, he was eating my spine. And then he finally put it in, he was like, I was like, oh my god, because it hurt so bad. Then he was like, breathe, because you're not breathing, it hurts. So then I finally breathed and he just, dude, it went up in there so freaking fast and it hit the second hole. I was like, but it felt good. And it didn't hurt anymore once I was breathing. So I was like, yo, I'm just gonna keep breathing, like stop holding. I thought like if I hold my breath, it wasn't gonna hurt. No, you need to freaking let that stuff, you need to freaking breathe while it's going in. So that happened and now I'm just like, it just felt amazing. We just going at it. And mind you, it's freaking 10 o'clock now. And then he finally stops. Just like an hour later, he finally stops, and then he starts giving me some head. I'm just like, all right. I'm just like, I'm just like, yes, because it was amazing. Like I never got hit. That was my first time getting hit before. I was like, yo, because I always thought I was a bottom. I'm not a bottom. I'm a verse now. I know that, but like, I always thought I was a bottom. I was like, oh, well, I'll just give them a hit, and I'll just let them hit me. Nah, I want to do both ways, if you know what I mean. A little flippy floppy, you know. And then he starts getting me, and then I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll just, you know, eat his little tootie tootie, you know. So flip him around, and I just go. Like it was like, yo, it was kind of weird at first because it was my first time doing it. But I'm just glad it didn't, one, didn't stink, two, didn't taste weird. Like I didn't taste nothing. Like it didn't taste like no dookie was up in there. There was no doodle. There was no like stank. There was no fishy smell. So I was like, I'm good. I'm good. And it was amazing. And then when I tell you, I pull my little thing out, and I start smacking it against his cheeks. So I was like, and then spread it, and then put it in between. All I heard was, That's all I heard. I was like, yo, and then I grabbed his neck, and I was just like, I squeezed the mess out of his neck, and I was just like, come on, in, like there was no mercy or no type mess. And then he was just like, he was taking it. I was like, yo, am I doing too much or am I doing too little? So I just kept going faster. Mind you, there was no condom, there was no lube. All there was just spit. That was the only thing. I'm just glad it wasn't dry, because if it was dry, it would hurt us both. So I just kept going in, and then he was like, harder, deeper. So I just put it all up. I was like, yo, he can take 8.5 inches. That's good. And then we just keep going all night. And then we finally finished around 4. We was probably there for like 5 hours. So it was probably like 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. Yeah, I was right. So it was probably like 2 something when we finally got done. And we were just sitting there chilling, eating the food. By the way, we went to another restaurant. We went to Waffle House, I think, and we got a waffle, and then I got some apple juice. And then we just sat there or whatever, and we was just chilling. And then I was like, yo, can I go to your place? Because I didn't have nowhere to stay. So he was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then so we went to his place, and his roommate, she had kids or whatever, and we didn't want to be there. The only other place to go was his mom's house. Why would we go to his mom's house? So he booked a hotel, and we just sat there and chilled. And I was like, okay, cool. So we watched the movie. I think we was watching Medea Boo, and I love Medea Boo. So he was laying like this, and I was laying on his stomach, whatever, watching the movie. We was eating popcorn. We got room service. It was fun. And then after that, it was like we took a shower. Like we both went into the shower together, and then we like both like had, you know, shower sex. It was amazing. And then at the end of the day, it was around like 5 o'clock. So then I was like, I'm just gonna go to sleep. So I went to sleep for like 30 minutes, and I woke up. I was like, yo. I looked at the time. I was like, I'm in trouble, because it was 5 o'clock in the freaking morning. I was like, yo. No, it was 5:30 in the morning. I was like, yo, I need to go home. So we get our clothes, and then we head out the door, and I'm just like, I just not realized I don't feel like going home. So why would I go home? So we ended up going to the mall, and he bought me some shoes, some clothes, and I was like, yo, thank you so much. And he was like, you're welcome. This is the least I can do. And I was like, yo. And then he gave me like $120, and then he gave me food at the house. He dropped me off at my house, and then that was it. And I was just knocked on the door, and I had to like cover all the hickeys, because there was hickeys on my neck, there was hickeys on my chest, there was hickey on my butt, there was hickey on my thighs. Everywhere there was a hickey. There was hickeys on my arm, like chest, thighs, stomach, butt. Everywhere was a hickey. So I had to cover that up when I knocked on the door. And then my mom, she was like this, because we was still kind of upset with each other, but like I still went home afterwards. And so she was glad that I was safe or whatever. So I went home, I took a shower, and then I just looked crazy. So I took a bath and everything like that. And I just looked at my arms and was just like, yo, that's a lot of hickey. They were big. They were like this big. They was purple. They were so dark. And I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. And so after that, I was just like, let's just keep doing it over and over again. So we just became friends with benefits or whatever. Like, I would go over to his place. And he would give me clothes or whatever, food, money, shoes, whatever I wanted, I got. So then after that, I moved and I deleted him off all socials because I was like, yo, what in the world was wrong with me? Like, I don't know what hit me, but I was just like, one, he was 22. Two, dude was freaking in a whole nother relationship and didn't tell me. And I was so mad about that. That's all the story. That's how I lost my virginity. If you stayed this long, thank you so much. It's very much appreciated. Smash that like button. Throw in a comment or two. And don't forget to turn on that post notification so you know when I'm post. By the way, it most likely will be on Fridays. They will be dropping at noon. So thank you very much. And have a nice day, morning, evening, or night, whichever applies to you. Peace.
Bye.